there's a slow transition in the text that's quite unique to me. All of a sudden, something supernatural happens and everything starts to get dark. In the time when it's supposed to be daylight, darkness shifts in. Have you ever experienced a time where it was supposed to be daytime, but all you had was darkness all around you? Something supernatural happens, and at this point in time, Jesus becomes our scapegoat. The Day of Atonement was a day where God took care of the sins of the people. And they had two particular animals that they used for the sacrifice primarily. The first one was the goat that was meant to be slain. The second one was the scapegoat. What's interesting about the scapegoat is the priest would lay hands on the head of the goat, thus transferring the sins of the people into the life of the goat. And he would take this goat and lead it out into the wilderness and walk away to leave the goat by itself. And I believe that if the goat had a mouth, he would look up to the one who led him in the wilderness and said, "Why have you forsaken me? Why did you put me all the way out here only to leave me? Why would you do this thing to me?" But watch this. The priest took the goat out into the wilderness to leave it to die with the sin of the world on his head. Because if Jesus didn't go into the wilderness as our scapegoat, the sin of the world would have came back to us. But God hid the goat so far away that the sin will never go back to the people again. Jesus becomes our scapegoat. He is forgiven, and he has helped, and he has been forsaken so that you wouldn't have to be. The Bible says we're cast down but not destroyed. We go through trouble but we're not forsaken. He says, "I'll never leave you nor forsake you. I'll be with you the whole entire time." Watch this. Even when you fail, it causes me to come closer to you. Because when Adam and Eve fell in the garden, the first person that came was God. The voice of the Lord came walking in the cool of the day, in the middle of man's failures. God will be there with you. He said, "I'll never leave you nor forsake you." So you got to learn to hang in there. Don't you dare come down from your cross. You cannot backslide now. Because if you come down from your cross, you're going to mess up your purpose. Let them talk. Let go through the pain. But look at your neighbor and say, "Hang in there. I know it may be tough, but hang in there. I know it may be hard, but hang in there. I know you want to give up, but hang in there. You can't give up now. God has not left you nor forsaken you. My God, why have you forsaken me?" And all of a sudden, Jesus shifts his conversation from talking to everybody else to dealing with himself. And then all of a sudden he says, "I thirst." There's nothing like the disappointment of people that will make you thirsty. And the thing about a deep-seated thirst is that natural water cannot fix it. There's a story in the book of John chapter 4 where Jesus is tired. He sends his disciples away to go get some food, and he sits on a well. A woman comes up seeking to draw water, and Jesus asks her for some water. And she wonders, why would a Jew ask me for water? Because she was a Samaritan. They were hated by the Jews at the time, and Jesus said, "If you recognize who I was, you would ask me for the same thing I'm asking you." She didn't realize that Jesus was a well sitting on top of a well. She didn't realize that he was planted down on something that brings forth water, and she didn't recognize who he was. And he gave her the choice between two wells. He said, "If you drink from this one, you're going to be thirsty again. Oh, but if you drink from me, satisfaction is guaranteed. If you come to me hungry, if you come to me thirsty, you will be satisfied in your life." And the Bible says that she was so satisfied that she went back and told everybody about what he did for her. Because when Jesus really fulfills your life, you can't keep your mouth shut. You got to tell everybody about a man who told you everything about you. And you had to do everything right because he quenched your thirst. Look at your neighbor and say, "I ain't thirsty no more. Jesus fulfilled my thirst." It makes sense now. Taste and see that the Lord is good. You don't know that he's good until you taste and see. I thirst. Jesus shifts in his conversation, says, you know what? It is finished. It's over. He shows us something about not staying in something too long. That when it's over, look at your neighbor and say, it's over. Finished means it's complete, which means tonight, everything you cried about, everything you prayed about, everything you fasted about that was broken, God is getting ready to make it complete. Because one Good Friday 2,000 years ago, God is going to complete your cycle. God's going to mend every broken place.